This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on this Hump Day Wednesday, ready to rock and roll. We have reached the middle part of the week, which we've got FCS Media Days happening. Later today, the United Athletic Conference, the UAC will have its. I think the Big South and Ohio Valley have theirs. That's relevant to us because North Dakota State is playing 2 teams out of that league this year, out of the OVC in Southeast Missouri State. That's the home opener for the Bison. Before that, it's Tennessee State, the game down in Nashville. Their preseason teams and players to watch are out. We'll dive into that coming up later on in the show. I mentioned big day for North Dakota Little League Baseball. Later today, they're going to crown a state champion to send off to the Midwest Regional. That's the road to Williamsport. Really begins later today over at Brunsdale Park in South Fargo. And a friend of the show, Alex Sumner, joins us. Of course, runs Fargo Youth Baseball. With a, we got a, that's Mike Rarick. That's a vintage Mike Rarick. What is going on your Zoom here? What is this?
Oh yeah. No, sorry, we are middle of the first game for today, and so my face isn't showing right now. But yeah, no, that's the original photo of Rarick right before right for their first game in the Central Region Plains when he did it. So
that is quite the pose. That is it's very stoic there.
Oh yeah, very very majestic.
He's legend. Obviously, he was the coach of that first Little League team that nearly made it to Williamsport. Gosh, how old am I now? Was that 2017? What year was that? 18, 17?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, it was. That is good. I want to say it was 17.
I think
this
so.
is my 10th year in this position,
Holy
so
cow.
they kind of all add up together.
It's great to see you, bud. I know it's a busy day. Give us the lowdown of what's going on over at Brunsdale Park today.
Yeah, we're at game 3, so we started yesterday. We have Mayport and West Fargo. They squared off game 1, and West Fargo won 2-1, and then West Fargo played Fargo, and Fargo won 7-0. And now we're in the loser out game, West Fargo and Mayport, and it's just in the bottom of the first right now.
Interesting. Okay, so first off, Mayport fielding the team is a big deal because I know West Fargo have done it. Moorhead's been here occasionally. To describe that of how a team from Mayport came about.
Yeah, no, it's great. So Ben Gates, their head coach, he reached out. He's from the East Coast, and it sounds like he was like 1 game away from going to the World Series himself as a 12-year-old. And so when he came to the Mayville area, he really believes in Little League and wanted to start it. So they joined about 2 months ago, and we got them chartered, got their boundary map set up, and yeah, now they're in and they compete. They're a good team. So it's fun to watch.
I got to ask, it's been 2 years, which is crazy again to say that, since the team that made it to Williamsport. How much has that changed the Fargo Youth Baseball, changed what you guys have been doing over the last couple of years?
It's there's been a lot of success over the last couple of years with the program and teams winning and getting to the regional. I think it increases the hype, and we're getting more kids coming out for the sport, and they have just something to play for, and it's really nice to see, and they're all excited, and it's kind of formed like a fun little culture with the Little League group. I mean, there's kids, old players that did the Little League route that they're here watching the games, cheering on, and they're in high school now, and so it's a lot of fun to kind of see everybody come together that way.
Those are the nice byproducts you probably never intend on when you started doing this. What other things have happened like that? Like, boy, we never counted on this happening when we started doing it a decade ago.
Right. I mean, we set a goal right when we started chartering Little League, and it was reached. Now our next goal is, okay, let's get there again and win a game.
Yep.
and compete a little bit more, and it's just fun kind of seeing where these players are at now. And it's not even just baseball. I mean, obviously we have Drew Rarick. He's doing good things at the D1 level. Cole Hage wasn't a Little League guy, but he was in the program, and he's doing really good things. And then you kind of switch over to other sports, like Andrew O'Neill commits to University of North Dakota in hockey. Sam Larillo was in our program early on, and now he just got drafted. So like you see all these players grow up in multi-sports, and it's fun to see now. And it's you keep in contact with them, and they stop in and say hi every now and then, and it's a lot of fun.
The fact too, Alex, that you have younger brothers or younger siblings participating that did this 5-6 years ago, that it's a cyclical thing, right? That it keeps going.
It is, and it's I look back like Donnie Bryant's year when he coached, and his kids were in there, and they turned into practice coaches when you're allowed to have those in the little league, and so they hopped on the bus, they went with the group, and that's when Matty Bryant was playing, and you see those guys, and it's just like you said, it's just fun seeing like
Yeah.
the camaraderie between all the past teams and past players and their investment into the program.
I know you sent me a couple years ago. You went out to Williamsport. You got to see it. Now to have the team be there. I mean, what for you is ahead? I mean, the attic's rocking. You've got an indoor facility. What's ahead? What's the future look like? What are you looking for?
Just keeping the passion. Like build passion, build good people. And that's if we can continue doing that, that's good. We're in hopes of turfing some fields to get more games in and good tournaments, competitive tournaments. And so we're just kind of keeping with our process and moving on to the next step. And like I said, if we can on the little league side, if we can get another team there, and this team's got a good chance. If they win today, they'll compete at the regional and put up a fight chance to get to Williamsport themselves. So if we can get them there again and go back, it'd be awesome because the little league. I mean, that was a bucket list item growing up. And then you get there, and it's just something different when players in your program are there and see them work hard to and be successful. It's a lot of fun.
So you sent me out the scroll back a text you sent me last August on state tournament winners last year. For it went West Fargo, 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 West Fargo, West Fargo, Fargo, West Fargo, Fargo, West Fargo, West Fargo, West Fargo.
Yeah.
That tell us what the youth level of talent of baseball is really darn good on this side of the state right now.
It is. And with West Fargo and us, we have a good like we help each other out. It's a good
Yeah.
rivalry, but I'll use a word that Jeff Gould uses a lot: is frenemies. You know what I mean? And so, but we help each other out. We do a lot of things together, and like the River Valley League we have right now. We have Cal Ripken Little League, and it's just it decreases the intensity and the competition level, and everybody wants to beat each other, and so like you see kids putting more time in to get better. So it's been good.
Starion Field, I know, is a special place for you as well. The Central Plains Regional is going to be there next month. To have that again, I know that's Legion baseball, but how big a deal is that for the guys that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis to see that come back here next month?
Oh, it's awesome, and like with Starion Field, just kind of being part of the whole renovation project with that, and Post 400's done a really good job of taking the field to the next level. If you haven't been out there in a while, go out check it out. It's
Yeah.
it's beautiful. They built a deck out there. They added batting cages, bullpens, and so they're ready to host. And it's they do a good job over there with the planning, and so it's good for the community. And again, like kind of talking about players getting that excitement and something to play for. Legion's right there. That's their next step. And so being able to host those events in our community with the help of the Convention Visitors Bureau, things like that wouldn't happen without those partners.
Yeah, I think if you were to go out there, when I remember like 15 years ago, you wouldn't recognize it what it looks like now. It's night and
E-
day.
Exactly. And what's kind of fun, like with the history with it, like the other three fields that are out there, that's how it used to look. And
Yes.
then you
Yep.
turn it in there, and now there's turf there. I think they have plans to turf the outfield too. So I think they're raising money for that. And it's good to see Fargo on the map for when it comes to baseball, and we're starting to
Yep.
make some noise, and it's awesome.
All right. Controversial of what happened last night. Hey, did you stay up to the end of the game last night?
I was on the laptop last night, so I didn't get a chance. I watched from the first inning with my kids, and when they went to bed, I didn't get a chance. So I watched the home run derby, but I didn't see the All-Star game.
So
So
the end obviously is with the swing off of everybody's talking about this morning because they didn't play extra innings. Instead, they did a 3-hitter swing off. What say you,
Mhm.
baseball purist, on how they decided the game last night?
I am a purist. I'm old school. I'd rather see like the California rule go into effect first, personally. But I get it. Like they're trying to make it more fun for the fans and get the ratings up and so we'll see. I haven't read all the comments or anything like that, but I think change is okay. And so let's try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Move on to the next thing. But I think a lot of people did enjoy it, and so it's we'll see where it goes from there.
Give us what's for people that don't know. What's the California baseball rule?
You start with a runner on second, one out.
Okay, one out.
But
Okay,
one out, yeah. But it's again like It's changes like full straight up extra innings would be fun. But I get it. Baseball gets long sometimes for people, and you have to change the rules to entice the fans.
So today, the what you have going on here, describe just the kids feel pressure. No one's at stake. The Fargo team won yesterday, so if they win today, they know they're going on. Do they know that? Is that something that's present in their mind?
Yeah, it is. It's right there. We're in the middle of a pickle right now, so that was fun. But it's yeah. I mean, obviously, it's in the back of their minds. I think Hans and Kalbrenner, Grandy, they've done a good job of preparing the Fargo kids, anyways, and to always look ahead and not dwell on past mistakes or anything like that. So they're in a good spot that way, and I think they're once they get to the regional, I think that's when it'll start to kick in when they start getting the fundraising aspect of it, if they move on that far. So
The amount of support that came a couple years ago, what struck you on that? Because it seemed, and you and I were texting, and I remember telling you, if one team makes it, it's gonna be a big deal here. What stood out from that a couple years ago that still sticks with you?
honestly, that's the community support. When the team went to Williams for it, and it'll always stick with my heart of what Kyle Newman did. And he's from Jamestown, or he lived in Jamestown, but he was a big fan, and what he did from a fundraising standpoint before he passed away. That's probably the most memorable thing out of it. Just and then all the people that backed him up on it, and so the community support behind it, and then just and honestly, you see a parent after the end of the game. And I remember Leandra, Blaze's mom at that time. She gave him a huge hug and just said
Mm,
how proud she was of him. And it's like that's what it's about.
yeah.
It was just a cool moment for those families, and it's just kind of warms your heart a little bit.
The fact that I remember doing this, the parents take off, especially the team that goes to the Indianapolis. They're taking 2-3 weeks off of work. Something went to Indianapolis or went to Williamsport. They're taking a month off. That's a large commitment from parents of whoever makes this.
No, absolutely, and that kind of goes back to the community support. It's like like the opportunity for parents, like their workplace allowed them to take that time off and go experience that with their kids. Like, I mean, that's a donation in itself,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just really cool to see people come together like that for youth sports.
What's the under over on hot dogs eaten over there today? What do you got it at?
Oh, we'll probably say it's a decent crowd. We'll see what the championship game brings, but we're gonna go 40.
Okay.
We're on 40 today.
All right.
Yep.
It's
So
National
we'll
Hot
see.
Dog Day. I don't know if you knew
It
that,
is.
but so
Yeah.
I just found this out earlier today. So,
Maybe that'll be our tiebreaker. Instead of a swing off, we'll do a hot dog eating contest.
now that we can get behind over there.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy man, bud. Thanks so much for the time. Congrats on another dynamite year. We'll talk soon, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Don, for having us.
Good to see you, bud. Alex Sumner from Fargo Youth Baseball, Fargo Area Sports, president over there. And again, first game going on right now between Mayport and West Fargo. Winner of that will play the Fargo team coming up at noon over at Brunsdale Park, not far from us here in downtown Fargo. And if Fargo wins that game, they'll move on to the Midwest Regional. If whoever wins this first game beats Fargo, we got a winner-take-all game that'll come up tomorrow. And we followed that. I'll be honest with you. We first started doing it on the news. Alex told me about this, so I'm still anchoring way back in was 2017. And this is before North Dakota had its own sanctioned tournament. And that year, you saw the photo of Mike Rarick on his Zoom, the Fargo team had to beat the North Dakota and South Dakota champions face one another. And the winner of that went to the regional in Indianapolis. And that was a huge deal. The team from North Dakota won. They beat a team either, I think, from Rapid or Sioux Falls. I can't remember way back then. But that was a big story. And I remember finding out, hey, all the regional games then, they were starting to air them on ESPN 3 at the time, now ESPN Plus. And so we're going to cover this. You know, we did a story on them before they left for Indianapolis. And I said, okay, I understand the fallout from this because there's going to be other teams, Cal Ripken teams or Babe Ruth teams that say, well, wait a minute. Why aren't we getting on the news? We're doing some great stuff. And I remember telling my my boss, the news director, that okay, we're going to get heat from this, but this is the only one, and this is going to seem like a shot. This is the only tournament that ends up on national TV. The Little League World Series people watch every year without a dog in the fight, without any interest. People will still flip it on. It's that big a deal. And this is the road to get there. For the first time, there's a Fargo team that has a chance to go to Williamsport, and they came up a game short that year. They lost in the regional final. That's when we found out the Little League rules stink in terms of double. It's not really truly double elimination when you get to the final, because Fargo was unbeaten that year and then lost in the title game, and there wasn't a winner-take-all game. That was it, because they made it for television. The team, I think, from Iowa ended up going that year. But that was the genesis of it, at least for us covering it. I think for people interested in it, that, wow, we got a team that was that close to making it, that this is something we should follow, pay attention to. And the amount of players that came through, I mean, that following year, that team that nearly made Williamsport, they didn't lose a game. They won their championship the following year out in Massachusetts. Those guys have gone on and playing Division I sports all over the place, whether it be football, basketball, and baseball. They were loaded with athletes. The Meyer twins were part of that. Just fantastic, fantastic team. And it's continued now. Here we are in 2025. They've had one team go to Williamsport, and they are eager to get back and do some more damage. And we remember it was just 2 years ago, that team that made it there, they were a ton of fun. Heck, we sent our guy Matt Henson was out there for 3 or 4 days. That's a bucket list thing for a sports fan like myself. That Williamsport, absolutely. Sign me up for that. It's a big deal, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens this summer. It's one of those annual things. We get to this time of the year, now you've got that. You got the Central Plains Regional happening. We've had teams go to the Legion World Series, it seems like repeatedly over the last 5 to 6 years, that becomes part of our annual things we cover once we get to this part of the summer. It's good stuff. And congrats to the guys over at Fargo Youth Baseball. They did amazing things here over the last decade. And we'll keep you posted on who wins, who's going to the regional in a couple weeks. That begins August 1st in Indianapolis. The North Dakota winner will face the champion from the state of Minnesota to start that bracket coming up on August 1. We're overdue for a break. We'll get caught up here. We got a bunch of emails. We are guest-free the rest of the way, which seems fitting considering the hot-button issues we've hit here today on the show. Back on Hot Mic right after this.